Well, hello. It's been a while since I did one of these videos. I know I didn't do one for the last couple pay-per-views, but tonight we're here to list off some predictions for AEW Double or Nothing 2023. It's Sunday night, pay-per-view night, so I'm very excited. And I just wanted to get out some quick little thoughts here and there about the matches coming up. I know I didn't do any for the last two pay-per-views. It was kind of too late by the time I wanted to do them, so we're here now. That's what matters. I tried to find a full match card, whatever you want to call it, match list, and as far as I can tell, there isn't really like a big 0 hour, or I guess they're calling it buy-in, like there were for the past couple of pay-per-views where it was like an hour long of like 3 matches, maybe 4, but this time it seems to be only 1, so we're going to start off there. Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, and Hook versus All Ego Ethan Page, Austin Gunn, and Colton Gunn. Also, could have just said Hardys and Hook versus the Guns and Ethan Page. I have loved this storyline since it started. Way back when it was just the Firm kind of separating themselves from MJF. I think that was kind of a product of the whole thing that happened with CM Punk. Like maybe the Firm had a bigger part to play in that whole storyline, and I guess they kind of just separated from it because of Brawl Out or whatever it's called, which... Man, what a fortunate time to do a predictions video right after the big big kerfuffle in AEW. But anyway, so the Firm kind of had, it was a little weird at first, but you know what I really appreciated, like Stokely Hathaway was still keeping it going, well enough. I think they still tried to kind of be serious at first, but the more that they played into, not necessarily comedy role, but more, where they felt less like they were hired guns and they felt like their own little faction, is when the story really started to, like, for me, get really, really interesting. And then throwing in the Hardys and, well, specifically Matt Hardy and Private Party into that whole thing, that was fun. Watching all the weird little Matt Hardy kind of looks and they're becoming close friends, really close friends, and then to all the funny stuff that's been happening recently. Anything with Stokely Hathaway has been great. His entire time in AEW, even when he was raising someone we'll talk about a little later, that he really helped her out, which is Jade Cargill. But yeah, this storyline's just been fun. Prediction. So this is the buy-in. This is the free show that's going to be on YouTube the hour before. I don't really see a reason why the Hardys and Hook won't win, I guess. Not unless there's something to do with like the rest of the Firm that comes in to interfere with the match, but maybe you'll get a run-in from someone else to help out Jeff and Matt and Hook. Like maybe Isaiah Cassidy won't have his neck broken anymore, maybe Mark Quinn, but I don't know, he might still be injured, because I know that was kind of the big thing why he's not in. I don't know, we'll see. It should be fun though, either way. It'll be a fun little story. Pretty good wrestling. I mean, considering all the people that are in there, finally get to see Jeff Hardy in the ring, see what he's capable of now, or if he's changed anything, or if he's gonna keep trying to do this, crazy hardcore extreme stuff, which he should stop doing. But either way, I'm happy to see him in a better place. He seems to be a little more healthy. This is like a Jeff Hardy we have seen before, technically, where he goes off for a while, he has something really bad, and then happen to him, and then he takes some time off and he comes back and he definitely looks a lot better. So we're in the bright part of Jeff Hardy, the happy part. Hopefully we don't start to dive down into the bad, like, oh no, Jeff Hardy's relapsing again with something or just doing something awful. Hopefully for good this time. So yeah, this should be a fun one either way. It's free, it'll be fun to watch live on YouTube, and then the pay-per-view after. Alright, next up is the AEW International Championship Blackjack Battle Royale, where it is Orange Cassidy versus 20 other people. From what I can see of the image that is up on screen, and is the image that was, I think the first time I saw it was on Rampage this Friday, so from what I can see, the people that are in it are Butcher, Blade, Bandito, Commander, Dustin Rhodes, Keith Lee, Juice Robinson, Jay White, Ricky Starks, Brian Cage, Swerve Strickland, Penta and Ray Fenix, Lucha Brothers, Kip Sabian, I see Best Friends, Trent and Chuck Taylor, Tony Nese, I think, Ari Daivari. Wow, I thought it was going to be someone else. Anyway, Big Bill and Lee Moriarty. To be honest, it's kind of a toss-up. I don't know what this match really is. I don't know, it's a lot of preset feuds being put together. You've clearly got, like, multiple angles going on here. Bullet Club Gold, Juice Robinson, Jay White, and Ricky Starks are going to have their thing going against each other. Then you've got Dustin Rhodes and Keith Lee, what did they call themselves? Something Limitless. Whatever. They had a weird tag name that they used for like 10 seconds. Anyway, you have them going up against, obviously, Brian Cage and Swerve Strickland. Yeah, I don't know what this match is. This is a weird kind of jumble up mashup of a bunch of different storylines that are kind of already in play. And then you've also got like Orange Cassidy and Best Friends having to basically fight each other in this battle royale. So that's also weird. I don't know what this match is going to be really. It's a toss-up. If I had to give a guess as who I think is going to win, I don't know why they would move the belt off Orange Cassidy unless they were moving it to someone that would start a new reign, but like maybe Kip Sabian, I guess, if you were going to do that, to move it off of Orange Cassidy and have him not be international championship or champion anymore, because he's been going at it for a few months. He's been doing good, a lot of fun defenses and stuff like that. Kind of reminded me of what Jericho was doing when he had the Ring of Honor world title. I think I mentioned that the last time when I did the All Out predictions. So now we've got Orange Cassidy kind of in a similar situation where he's got a championship and he's been, like every week facing off against someone different. That's super cool. Who could win this? I don't know. Like I said, could be anybody. If I had to guess, maybe Kip Sabian or Orange. I would say Orange Cassidy retains. If I had to guess it moving to someone, Kip Sabian makes the most sense as opposed to the rest of these guys, because they're all in their own storylines, except maybe like, I don't know, Tony Nese and Ari Daivari, I guess, aren't really in a storyline. They're just kind of around, Yeah, I mean, unless there's like a run-in entrant that comes in and does something totally different, or like I said, I totally could see, because we don't have the full, Mogul Embassy, Sorbs faction of people that he's been building up. They're not all in the match. Maybe Jay White and Juice Robinson could have like a run-in of someone joining in Bullet Club Gold, have that be something. I don't know. Could be anyone. This is just a complete toss-up. Next up, TBS Championship match between Jade Cargill and Taya Valkyrie. A storyline that is both one I want to see concluded and one I don't care about seeing concluded. This has just been weird. I like Jade Cargill, and I like the idea of her being champion and having the TBS championship for so long, but she doesn't really come off as like a defending champion, which is very obvious. The few times that she comes out on TV to like defend, it's squash matches that get her a one-up on her undefeated streak. I thought a couple months back when Red Velvet decided to defect from being, I guess, affiliated with Jade Cargill, because she kind of was hanging around her. When Red Velvet decided that she was going to start feuding with her, I thought that was an interesting thing, because it was timing up to be her 49th win, and she was like, I'm going to get number 50, and they were like, we'll make Red Velvet number 50. And I was like, this is the perfect opportunity to have the belt move on to Red Velvet, who is legitimately a really good wrestler and could probably do some really good stuff as TBS champion. Plus, you have the added benefit of you can have Jade kind of go off TV for a little while and be very upset that she didn't get 50, 49-1, and it being something that she feels she needs to like earn or like to earn something in response to not achieving that goal. She needs to achieve a different kind of goal. I thought that would have been a cool idea. That was months ago now, and that didn't happen. She beat Red Velvet, and I was like, well, I don't know what the point of this was. And then when Taya Valkyrie came out, which now is even months ago too, it's not even like it was last month or 2 months ago or even 3 months ago, I was like, okay, this could be cool, have Taya Valkyrie and Jade fight for the championship. And then I don't know what happened. It's kind of just been everywhere. It's been Taya Valkyrie not being able to use her own finisher of the Road to Valhalla because it's the same thing as Jaded, which was a fun distraction but not really interesting. I appreciate what like Smart Mark Sterling is trying to do to make something interesting there. He seems to be like thrown into the what is now only Jade Cargill and Layla Gray. Layla Gray was a character, obviously a real person, but Layla Gray's character was kind of thrown in as like a proxy member to help Jade Cargill like half a year ago now. And for a long time, it kind of seemed like Jade Cargill like dismissed her and just didn't care, like, oh, you're lesser than me or whatever. And now here we are, where suddenly Layla Gray's the only one who's standing next to Jade because Kiera Hogan's gone and she's doing her own single stuff on like Ring of Honor and whatever. And then you've got Red Velvet. I don't even know where. Maybe she showed up on Ring of Honor and I just didn't pay attention, but I don't know where she went otherwise. And then you've got Taya Valkyrie, who is interesting. Like, I like her as a wrestler and I want to see her win, I guess. If I had to give a prediction, though, I don't really know why Jade would lose it. Although I have a sneaking suspicion about something. But I like the idea of Taya Valkyrie. Like, I like her character. I like her wrestling ability. I think she's been pretty good. And she's had a couple really great matches against people that aren't Jade. I think she's only fought Jade once, technically. But yeah, I don't know. I suspect that maybe this is finally where we're gonna see Chris Statlander. Maybe I'm throwing it out there as another one of those maybe you never know kind of chances, like I did last time. I mentioned MJF and wow, there he was. He actually appeared, even though it kind of seemed pretty obvious he was gonna. But you never know. You got to throw out these kinds of predictions. It kind of seems like maybe we're leading up to either Taya Valkyrie winning the championship. So if you're gonna ask who am I putting my bets on, I'm gonna say Taya Valkyrie. But I also see maybe Chris Statlander finally running in. She's been injured for a while and out. She's been making progress that she's kind of been talking about sometimes, but she's been very vague about what, she's never said clearly where her healing has been. So now here we are. Maybe Statlander will make a run in at the end, or an appearance if, maybe if they make Jade win and retain, we'll see Statlander. Or who knows? Taya Valkyrie could win it and be TBS champion. All I know is that I and a lot of other people are in agreement that this could have been something cool with Jade winning the championship and having it this long and being undefeated. But much like every other undefeated champion goes, it kind of becomes either a successful run of a championship or it's a failure. So we'll see where this stands. I think next up on the card is the AEW Women's World Championship, Jamie Hayter versus Toni Storm. Up front, I don't really care who wins. I don't care what this story is setting up. I hope Jamie Hayter wins. That's where my bets are on, Jamie Hayter winning. She's been injured for the past month and a half, or maybe two. Maybe it's been two, jeez. Time flies and it moves quickly. But she's been injured, obviously, so we haven't really seen a lot of in-ring action, so I can't really blame the storyline stuff. Although I do think it's a little weird, and I know why, but I think it's a little weird that Toni Storm is suddenly yeah, I want the championship again. Maybe we could have been setting this up a little bit sooner, but whatever. I'm willing to give it a pass because it'll be fun anyway to watch. This whole Outcast thing and the originals is an interesting dynamic that kind of feels like it's setting in complacency where it's not going to do anything really interesting anymore. And I think what it needs is a new angle to it, which is if you're going to have the Outcasts should exist as a force that gains more members, and so should the originals. So if you're going to do this setup of this storyline, they should both, relatively frequently, not once every week, but maybe once every month, get a new member. And it kind of feels like there hasn't been a new member in the Outcasts. It's just been the same three. It was a fun heel turn, shocking twist when Ruby joined in, because it kind of seemed like it was you know what, she is an outcast, but she doesn't want to side with any of them. Then she did. That was a fun turn. But then after that, it's kind of done a little bit of nothing. I know that it's not Jamie Hayter versus Saraya because clearly they want it to be a headliner for All In, which is fine. I think maybe though something else could have been set up here. I don't know. It kind of feels like we had Sheeta join in at the beginning. Or, sorry, at first she didn't know where her allegiance was. She left for a while. She came back, and that was exciting. And now she's kind of, back in AEW, which is a rare thing for Sheeta. She goes back to Japan often. I think we should be doing something with her in the main event against maybe, Toni Storm or Saraya. I don't know, whichever one. I guess maybe that kind of comes off as redundant for some people, but I think that would have been a far more interesting angle. Britt Baker also is here. she's, been doing great. I love that she's kind of a supportive role for Jamie Hayter. I don't know where she is individually, though, and that's kind of what's also confusing me here about the originals, is that I don't know how these pieces are falling into place storyline-wise, other than just being like, we're here, you're there. We don't like you. Well, we don't like you. Okay, that's fine. But, I don't know. Yeah, there could be more here, I think. It's a good storyline. I guess I should say that. It's a good storyline. I just wish there were more going on. Like, I like it, and I like it so much that I want more of it, I guess would be the simpler way to put it, right? It's a good storyline. I think it's entertaining and interesting. I also want more things to happen with it to keep me interested, because my interest is there regardless, but if you could get my interest more. So, but otherwise, Jamie Hayter, please, I hope you win. Oh, please, Jamie Hayter win. She's a great champ, for real. After this, TNT Championship ladder match, Wardlow versus Christian Cage. Little weird that it's not Luchasaurus, but okay, I mean, whatever. This should just be a fun match, I guess. I don't know. I don't know where the championship will move to, I guess, considering where the storyline has been so far. First, we kind of had the tease of Luchasaurus coming back, but it wasn't really like he had an enemy in mind or anything. Then Christian Cage started to set his sights on Wardlow, which is fine. And then he brought out Luchasaurus. And all this stuff is fine. All the build up to it is fine. The match should be fun. I imagine Luchasaurus will do something outside of the ring, because there's no way he's just going to be standing there not doing anything, which it seems like every time Luchasaurus is out there for pay-per-views, he's doing something crazy with cages and tables and ladders, so who knows? We'll probably end up seeing him do something, but I think an interesting way to play this out would be for Christian Cage to actually win the championship and kind of bring a lot of heat towards himself from the roster that wants to go for that championship. But also, you could argue that's kind of the same thing that's already been happening with the World Championship and the International Championship, so But at the same time, I also could just see Wardlow retaining and setting up something else. It definitely feels like Wardlow has had a really fun, past couple months, many months of different people that he has set his sights on to take the championship to and then either win or lose. And I actually like that he's kind of lost it for a little bit, then won it again with Hobbs, even though I don't know where Hobbs really went off to, why that kind of went away, but whatever. And then he also had the stuff with Samoa Joe, and then Samoa Joe had the stuff with Darby Allin. I definitely like Wardlow as TNT champion. It seems like he's constantly trying to prove himself with different enemies that he's going up against, and I like that Christian Cage has kind of stepped up and put himself in a place that seems like it's going to be a fun match. Last pay-per-view, obviously, we had Christian Cage also doing some fun stuff with Jungle Boy Jack Perry, and another kind of settle it, we're done match, which gladly was the actual last one between them two, because it definitely felt like Jungle Boy needed to move on to something new, and Christian Cage did as well. So this is a fun little angle. Regardless, I don't really have too much care for who wins, I guess. I just know that I'll enjoy the match. It'll be fun. If I had to guess, if I had to give a solid, concrete answer, though, Wardlow. Wardlow winning, retaining, maybe moving on to somebody bigger. I think that would be the more interesting angle. Maybe bring in someone new for him afterwards. It doesn't have to be, in Double or Nothing. It could be the the Dynamite the week after, or the week of. You know what I mean? It could be set up on the next Dynamite, as opposed to set up in Double or Nothing who his next opponent is. Maybe we'll see Hobbs back, That could be something cool to see too, but otherwise, I think Wardlow's going to win this one easy. And if he doesn't, then we have another interesting new angle with Christian Cage having the championship, really. That, or Wardlow wins and then Luchasaurus steps up. Either way, it'll be fun. After that is the AEW World Tag Team Championship match, FTR versus Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. This has been a fun little storyline to follow, with Mark Briscoe kind of being put in the middle. A little bit fast at the end there, where we were trying to set the where does Mark Briscoe stand type thing, but I appreciate it anyway. It's super fun, super interesting. I definitely think, though, there are other tag teams that have been trying to get FTR's attention that haven't really succeeded, because they haven't been really booked to give promos that make it seem like they're really pining for the championship. So the more obvious of the two being Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal is fine. Clearly a lot more personal stakes than in the match, rather than emotional stake to win it, really. Or there's a lot more emotional and storytelling stakes to win this match than there are to winning just the titles, which is fun. It's different for the tag team titles. It kind of feels like that's been the last couple reigns, when the Acclaimed had it, when the Guns had it, and then FTR. That it's just kind of been like, I want those belts, so you can't get those belts. Whereas now it finally feels like we have like a story that is playing out, and that's fun. I don't know why FTR would lose it though. There's my answer. I don't see how FTR could lose this one, really. How they could, I don't really see them losing it. It's just definitely going to be a fun, emotional match. You have Mark Briscoe being the special guest referee. So either way, I guess what I'm trying to say is that, like, the winner of the match doesn't matter. It's the match that's going to play out and the story that's going to play out that's going to be way more interesting, which I look forward to. It's going to be fun. I don't really see any surprise anything happening here, just let the story play out and finish how it's going to, and then end in a nice little way and move on to the next match. So I say we leave it there. FTR wins is my prediction. Now the unsanctioned match between Chris Jericho and Adam Cole, with Sabu being there for some reason. Yeah, that was a weird surprise that happened this week on Dynamite, or last week, I guess, because it's Sunday today. Sorry. That was just a surprise development that should make it very fun. Obvious things are that JAS are going to come in and they're going to... Sorry, did I say JAS? Yes, it's been like a year. It's been almost a year since I did that last prediction video. Like, was it like 8 months at least? And it's still the same thing with this stupid faction. God, it's funny. I went back to the original Double or Nothing from 2019, and Jericho comes off in that main event match against Kenny Omega as this, like, intimidating force, this guy who just comes in and cleans house. He's an ultimate heel. He just doesn't take it from anyone. He gets beat, but then he still wins, and then I look at all this stuff with the Inner Circle. I'm like, that was fun, and then it kind of got a little tired, and then it became the JS, and now it's really tired. So I have absolutely no doubt we'll see the usual suspects of Daniel Garcia, Jake Hager, Magic Mike, what's Daddy Magic, Cool Hand Ange. Yeah. Ugh. But at least you've got something interesting, which is Adam Cole, and probably we'll end up seeing, we have to end up seeing Roderick Strong. Maybe we'll see someone else. I don't know. Maybe Britt Baker will come out and get her revenge, beat the crap out of Jericho. It's an unsanctioned match after all. Yeah, I don't know. Adam Cole wins. It kind of feels like we had that moment where Jericho actually seemed like a really good character, an intimidating heel, where he handcuffed Adam Cole to the rope, beat the crap out of Britt, and then every time since, he didn't beat the crap out of Britt. He let her get the crap beat out of her. And every time since, he's been berating Cole with it. So it feels like it's natural to let Adam Cole win this pay-per-view match, which is good, because this has been a fun, criticisms of the JAS aside, it's been fun to see Adam Cole come back and be like a super babyface after leaving as a heel, getting injured super horribly and everyone being concerned, and now he's looking a lot better. So I totally see this being like a celebratory win for him, a good victory. Yeah. Prediction, Adam Cole wins. Do I see anyone else really coming in for a surprise? Nah, not at all. What feels like a main event match but isn't, somehow, Anarchy in the Arena. You've got the Elite, which is Kenny Omega, Young Bucks, and finally back in the fold, Hangman Adam Page versus the Blackpool Combat Club, Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta. Doesn't really matter who's going to win this match as well. This is just going to be a fun slobber knocker, as JR used to say. This will just be a fun match, regardless. There's so many, interesting angles that this is going to end up playing on. You're going to have the BCC just coming in and bringing brutality and violence, and then maybe the Elite also matching that as well, because they have to. But something tells me, and I don't know why, but something tells me something is going to end up happening between Kenny and Hangman. For some reason, I don't know. I don't see it being like a big thing where they end up hating each other or hating each other. Oh, that's an awful pun. I'm so sorry. That was terrible. No, but I definitely see something happening between them, a conflict between them for just a moment where it kind of makes you go, but then nothing happens. Maybe this will be the crumbling of the Blackpool Combat Club as well, or maybe it'll reinforce that they're kind of this new, like, obsessed with what is real and what is amateur, which I like that angle of it too. I love them being heels, love Danielson being a heel too. Either way, this will be a fun match. If you want prediction as to who I think will win, I don't know. Because I also feel like another element here that's going to play in is Don Callis, especially after that just amazing turn. That amazing, I guess, heel turn. I don't know what you would call it. Is Don Callis really face or heel? But that amazing turn on Kenny was just so well, and I called it too. I have no proof, sadly, but I called it. But he's definitely going to play an element in the match. If I had to give a prediction as to who I think will win, I'm going to say the Elite, just because it seems to make more sense, but who knows? You could also just have it be the BCC taking it too far with the brutality and the violence. I mean, kayfabe taking it too far, obviously, and then somehow winning it that way. I mean, it really could go either way. Again, like I said, this is a match that's just going to be fun to watch. It doesn't really matter who wins or who loses. It's just fun. And finally, the main event. The Four Pillars AEW World Championship 4-way match between the Four Pillars. You know, the ones that were at the first Double or Nothing. MJF, Hangman Adam Page, Jimmy Havoc, and Jungle Boy was there too. Sorry. Okay, we're talking about a different Four Pillars. Okay, excuse me. MJF, Darby Allin, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, and Sammy Guevara. This will be a fun match regardless. I think you've got something really fun here, which is you have 3 wrestlers that are willing to go to pretty much any lengths and put their bodies on the line, and they're all wrestling against MJF. This is going to be one of the funnest things to watch ever. Again, this is just another great main event where the wrestling is really what matters and the storyline is what matters. It's not about the outcome. It's about the fun that this match is going to be. And I really can't wait to see it. I have nothing to say. The build-up has been fun for this. All of the individual promos, all of the fun little jabs that they make against each other that sometimes are, you know, maybe shoot and sometimes work. Or maybe we don't know. But, I don't know who could win this. This is maybe the hardest one that I've had to think about on my own as to who I think will truly win it. If I'm really pushed up against the wall and ask, who do you think will win? You know, I'm going to say MJF. I think he's going to do something like he did with that awesome match, the Iron Man match against Danielson, where he's going to find some way to weasel himself into a win and just retain. But at the same time, I don't know that it'll work. And I don't know that it's so solid and concrete in my mind that MJF doing his shenanigans will end up winning him this match. Because like I said, you have 3 guys who have done some crazy stuff in AEW so far and who are willing to probably go that extra mile that this match is definitely going to go into. So honestly, prediction, if you want me to give an actual prediction, MJF. But I also don't care who wins because I know I'll just have a fun time. And honestly, that seems kind of like this whole pay-per-view. There's really only one match that I can argue has kind of a feeling towards, and honestly, it's Jade Cargill and Taya Valkyrie. And that's mostly just due to the poor, slow booking of the TBS Championship reign on Jade. But otherwise, all of these matches for the whole night sound like fun, emotional storylines in some places, just brutality in others. I just can't wait. This will be all around fun. I can't wait. So without further ado, it is Sunday. I will leave you off to the rest of your day. I hope you enjoy the pay-per-view that ends up happening tonight and the free YouTube stream, obviously, of the buy-in match. Yeah, let's just enjoy wrestling, everybody, because that's what we're here to do. And boy, do I love me some wrestling. All right, thanks for watching. I'll make another predictions video about something, who knows what, whenever. YouTube videos, I make them sometimes. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see whenever I make another YouTube video. I'll make something eventually at some point. But for now, we all should just enjoy and love wrestling, right? So I want to see what your predictions are, or just what your feelings are about the whole pay-per-view in the comments below. If you got anything you want to say, if you got some kind of crazy surprise entrant that you want to set in stone before the pay-per-view tonight, put it down in the comments so that you can come back to it and be like, yes, I said it. I said Tommy Dreamer was going to come in and beat the crap out of Christian Cage. Like, you know, some kind of crazy who knows prediction that could totally not be true. But hey, what if it comes true? There's always that 1% chance. Never say never, right? So, yeah, leave me some comments. I love reading stuff like that. It'll be so much fun to just watch the pay-per-view in general. I hope you all enjoy with me, wherever you are in the world, if you are watching the pay-per-view. I hope you enjoyed the predictions. Maybe you agree with some, maybe disagree. Doesn't matter. Just remember to enjoy wrestling and enjoy yourself.